Good morning. So today I am doing pig. It is a small pig. It's only about 25 pounds or so. And so far my preparation was trying to dry the skin out. So in attempting to dry the skin out, what I did was I just kind of patted it dry. And just on the skin side, I put quite a bit of salt on it and stuck it in the refrigerator for a day and a half, uncovered, just to kind of let that skin kind of dry out. It did a pretty good job with it. We'll see how it plays out. And the reason why I'm trying to dry that skin out is to try to get some crispy skin at the end of this smoke. So what I'm intending to do is to smoke this pig, and then as it's getting just about to done, to pull it off the smoker, flip it over on its back, and light the coals across my grill to try to crisp that skin up. So that's the intent. So what I'm about to do now, though, is that kind of next phase. Yesterday, I made my injection, and in this particular injection, I used apple cider vinegar. I used apple juice. I used an apple brandy. I used some spices that I mixed up here. I blended up some apples as well. And I just let that kind of do its thing overnight. I brought it to a simmer this morning, and then I cooled it back down. It's a little bit cooler than room temperature. It's probably about matching what the pig is right now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the injection fluid and I'm going to get it into the hams. I'm going to get it into the shoulders. I'm going to try to get it into the loins, which you run along the spine there, and get it into the cheeks. And then I'm going to get this thing onto the smoker. So, and I'm going to sit it up, sort of sit it up on the smoker. Not completely flat laying down, but propped up a little bit. So it'll be easier for me when I want to put that on the grill. It'll be easier for me to do it. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to go into the legs, start injecting, and I'm going to back out as I'm injecting. So that's pretty good there. Good, good, good. I may have made a little bit too much of the injecting fluid, but that's okay. It's always better to make too much than too little. So as you're injecting it, you kind of see the legs swell up a little bit. That's what you want to see when you're injecting anything. If you're doing chicken or you're doing turkey, you want to see that swelling happening. So I've got the hams there. I think I'm going to go to the shoulders next. I'm going to first go as far down the front leg as I can. There, got that pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing on this other leg. Come around to the other side. There you go. Now, let's see what I can actually do with the cheeks here. This is the one I have more concern with because it's not easy to get to it right now, and that is the loins. Because I don't want to puncture the skin when I do this, so you got to be careful. If I succeed at not puncturing that skin on the bottom there, that'll be interesting. Been able to do this with other types of meat, but this one's a little bit different. All right. So now I'm at the stage where it's time to get the meat of the pig seasoned. So what I'm going to do, I mixed this up last night. I could go through all the spices. It's a little bit too much spices to go through right now, but I usually mix my spices up as I need them. Sometimes I buy some other spices as well, but I don't really have a specific spice that I lean on the most. I mix up the flavors that I like. So I am going to get all of the meat seasoned. You got to get as much seasoning as you can onto the meat because you only get this part of the meat that you can put seasoning on because the skin is on the rest of it. And if you want that skin to be crispy, you're not going to take that skin off. So all I'm going to do is put as much seasoning as I can here and hope that it penetrates as far into the meat as I can. You can help yourself by making sure that you got the silver skin off before you got to this step, because that could block that seasoning from getting through. So I'm going to hit it very, very hard. I'm going to let this sit here for a little bit to make sure it sticks well. And then this is going onto the smoker. No games. And that is pretty much that. Just going to kind of push that in, try to make sure it sticks. Because when I do put it on the smoker, I am going to turn it meat side down. And I'm going to turn it meat side down. I want that smoke to cook that underside pretty good. I'm going to do what I can to protect the skin from getting too dark while it's smoking. It should be a pretty fun cook. Time will tell the tale. Thought I was going to need more seasoning mixed up, but I did not. All right. Now it's time to put this pig on the smoker. So what I'm going to do here, pig's going to go on this bottom rack. I am going to try to protect the ears from drying out completely during the cook. I'm going to try to protect the snout from drying out. Let's see how well I do with that. I'll get the other ear in a second there. And let's get this out. That's where that's going to be sitting. I'm guessing that a pig of this size I'm going to have on here for, I want to say 6 to 8 hours or so. I was unsure and how I was going to put this thing out here at one point. Now, come on. There we go. There we go. So this guy is going to be kind of spread open so that smoke can hit everywhere that I want it to hit underneath. I fully expect that I'm going to get some burning going on here because this is a reverse flow smoker, so the smoke comes around, comes up this backside, goes up high, and then goes out the stack. So I will likely end up having to protect here too. But for now, that's what we're going with, and we'll see how it plays out. My expectation is, again, 6 to 8 hours or so, and we'll be tracking it. I'll get a thermometer in there shortly, and I'll see how it goes. Fun, fun. I am ready to move this pig from one to the other. Hopefully I don't drop it. So what I'm going to do now, the pig has gotten to where I want it. Asked about the color I'm looking for. It's also at the temperature that I want it at. And the temperature and the hams, they're right at about 170, 175. And the shoulders is more in the 185 range. Now what I want to do is I want to flip this, because I want the skin to try to dry out some. I may have not done it properly on the skin, but we'll see on getting it to dry out. I'm going to remove the temperature probes. They've done their job. And I'm going to take this pig and I'm going to put it on its back. To attempt to singe the skin a little bit. This may or may not work. We shall see. And basically what I'm going to do is I've got coals down at the bottom. It's just hot coals. They may light. And all I'm going to do is as they go out, I'll feed them underneath. I just want to dry that skin out again. Just dry that skin out a little bit to see if I can crisp it. I may have failed that one though. We shall see. So I finished the pig. That was quite an experience. Had fun with it. Here's what I learned from that, from smoking a pig. So it was about a 25-pound pig. And what I learned from it is, it's definitely more complicated than when you take a loin, a pig loin, or you take some hams, or you take some pork shoulders, or you take a pork belly, or you take some ribs and you cook them. It's way different because you're dealing with all these different muscles. You've got the hams that are kind of tough. You've got the tenderloins that are kind of tough to cook and keep tender. The pork belly and the pork shoulder is completely different. I know how to do those. Well, I know how to do all of those separately, but you're doing all of that all at the same time with the pig. What does help you though is that you have the pig contained in its skin, so it helps keep some of that moisture in. I did inject the pig, so that helped. I loved how the flavor came out. But it's definitely more complicated. One of the things I learned is I would probably go with a bigger pig. It gives you a little bit more leeway with all those different muscle groups. So that was fun, kind of learning through that process. Definitely injected. Definitely try to dry that skin out. I was able to successfully get some of that skin dried out. It didn't look as pretty as I would have liked because I flipped it on its back, and because my grill is not a huge grill, I couldn't get the coals as far away from it as I wanted to. So it charred some of the skin and it crisped some of the skin. So I've got to figure that out, and I may end up having to build a pit or something on the side where I can get the coals further away from the rack. So I learned that, but I did like it. I had fun with it. I would do it again, and I'll probably go with a pig that's somewhere between 30 and 40 pounds. That's about how big, probably the biggest pig I could probably do on my smoker. So it was a fun ride. Next time.